What exactly is church discipline, and is it infallible? I've seen many quotes from popes saying that it's impossible for church discipline to err. How can we reconcile this with the news about Amoris Laetita and the letter to the Argentine bishops being placed in the Acta Apostolicae
Sedis?
There you go. What is that last thing, by the way? What gets placed in there?
Supposedly magisterial statements.
The Amoris Laetita got placed in there?
By direct order of the Holy Father himself, with the letter with his private letter to the Argentine Bishops.
That's not magisterial by definition, almost.
Yeah, I know. So that tells us something about the Acta Apostolicae Sedis, doesn't it?
Okay. Okay, so... Wow.
You okay? You seem confused. Upset. Would you like some Ovaltine?
Yes, please.
Hold on. All right, they've got the message upstairs. You'll be happy to know that at the little dining nook off the restaurant,
yeah,
they're mixing you an Ovaltine as we speak.
I feel better.
I thought you might.
Okay, so yeah, what exactly is church discipline, and is it infallible?
Ovaltine. No, it's not infallible. Church discipline is simply the way Catholics are supposed to behave. And what is discipline? Well, fasting. What is required in terms of fasting? What is required? Discipline is the kind of behavior the church requires out of her members. But that behavior can change.
Mm.
And the fact that it can change, that it can be changed, shows that it's not infallible.
Yeah.
Because if something can change, by definition, it's not infallible. Canon law is not infallible. Because it can be, it has been changed. I know it disputes this. Why do they change it? In response to whatever the leadership perceives as current conditions.
Mm.
You know, for instance, many of our processions, like the oh gosh, I can't think of the Rogation days and the Ember days and things like that. Those processions were originally brought up to combat a plague or a famine or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were kept because they continued to fill a real need.
Yeah.
But now, in terms of popes saying, you know, discipline will never err, I've never heard that, so I can't speak to it. But what I certainly can speak to is the fact that oh gosh, my mind is going. Just putting something in the Acta Apostolicae Sedis doesn't guarantee anything except that it was generated out of the Holy See.
Okay.
Because we have definitions as to what's infallible, what isn't infallible. I understand that the Holy Father has an agenda, and I understand that in the pursuit of that agenda, he's willing to mix and match and obfuscate sometimes the law, you know, and to sort of get around these definitions. I'm also aware of the fact that his education is lacking. And I suspect from some of the things he says that he's simply not aware that just calling something magisterial doesn't mean anything at all. You can say that. You know, you can say whatever you like. You can say, if you wish to, I'm made out of cut glass. No flesh, no blood, no bone. I am made out of cut glass. Well, you can say that.
Wouldn't be true.
No, it wouldn't be true, but I could say it. If I were Pope, I could say it. I could go out onto the terrace at St. Peter's and say, my good children, I am made not of flesh and blood and bone. I am made of cut glass. I could do that. And then I could have that speech published in the Acta Apostolicae Sedis.
Wow. Well, you can do a lot of things as Pope.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things. You can do what Julius III did and build her boyfriend a big villa in Rome. It's a pretty villa, too.
Isn't that the warrior Pope?
No, it was Julius II.
Oh, okay.
He had other issues. Although given the two of them, I'd have taken the warrior pope. Like,
Yeah.
That's just me.
Okay. So, it's strange the way Rosey's clergyman worded it, that you can't err with church discipline, because it seems like it's not true or false, it's strict or lax.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's not, Battle of Bunker Hill, true or false? What happened? Right or wrong? It occurred. It didn't happen on Bunker Hill. It was on Breeds Hill. But I mean, I don't know what you want out of me. HMS King George V. What about it? Strict or lax? And the problem is, a lot of what's coming out of Rome today is like that. So you scratch your head and say, what? The iron filings, good food. No, actually, Holy Father. Iron filings are not food. You can eat them, I guess. Eat enough of them, you'll be sick, maybe die. If you only eat a small amount, they're not going to get any nutritional value. If you say iron filings aren't good food, you're not a good Catholic and you hate the Pope. No. I'm not happy if he says iron filings are made of food. I'm not happy about that because it makes him look stupid. But I don't hate him. I'm just aware that iron filings aren't really food. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. It's not really something I've ever assigned a moral value to. It just isn't that way. Yes, but I say that iron filings are food and this is a magisterial teaching. No. You see, you can call it that, you can say it is, but that of its nature does not make it that. See, we have definitions.
Yeah.
The problem is when you get outside those definitions and begin making up language on your own, it's hard for people to respect you.
Yeah.
If I come out and I say, my father was a wonderful she-elephant in the veldt in Africa. Mm-hmm. The likelihood is that my father was not a she-elephant, nor one living in Africa. Not even one living in India. Mm-hmm. It makes it tough for the Catholic, I admit. But discipline is not infallible because it is changeable. And discipline is not true or false, it is lax or it is severe. That's it.